of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Whether it's betting on the big game, catching up on bills, or saving up for the holidays, we could all use a little extra cash this time of year. Hey, how does $1,000 sound? It's the ESPN Dayton #We Want to Get Paid Cash Contest. Listen for the word that wins every hour starting at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday. Enter the word at wingam.com for your chance to win $1,000. It's the ESPN Dayton We Want to Get Paid Cash Contest. He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer.
Look at him go! He simply runs out of his shoe. He's running so fast.
And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots.
Watch for the great block by Keith Byars on Pepper Johnson. Bam! Right there. Byars just nailed it.
He's Dayton's own Keith Byars. It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken on Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome. You're listening to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Phone number to call is 937-457-9464. Or you can hit me on Twitter, KAD41. And also, you can go to, we are live also. I'm on the ESPN Dayton's Facebook page. Let me say that one more time. We are live on ESPN's Dayton's Facebook page. And you go to ESPN Dayton YouTube channel, and you can see the show now and, type in your questions, comments, or concerns you may want to interject in the show, and I'll be more than happy to, to respond to it. Love that background music. Hey, you hear that Buckeye music? Oh, that's the Ohio State fight song. And I just, absolutely love it. Fight the team across the field, show them Ohio's here. Oh, man. But Ohio they'll be here next weekend. The 24th. So one more Saturday without Buckeye football, and then the Buckeyes will be here on the 24th. We're getting closer. This time last week, it was 3 weeks away, 2 weeks away. So we're just, chopping it down. So the 24th will be here before you know it. And so since we're going to be, this is the last Saturday without Buckeye football, next Monday, join me next Monday, I'll be at the Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken in Inglewood. And so we're finally get a chance to talk about the kickoff for Ohio State, where I do hear my pregame analysis. They're all about Nebraska, all about the Buckeyes. So I'll do that next Monday at Lee's Famous Recipe in Inglewood. So come on out. I'll be there at 12 o'clock. I'm sure we're going to have some prizes, and you don't even have to call in. You could just come here and ask me some questions, and we'll take them live, right there over the radio for you. And come out and have lunch with me. I'm sure I'll be there before 12 o'clock. So some of you guys take your lunch break at 11:30, quarter till, coming out, and we'll get a little pregame talk before we get on the radio. So we'll be live. I'm live right now, but I even be live and in person next Monday at the Inglewood location of Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. So I would be there. Hope to see you as well. Oh man, we're still in the midst of this coronavirus. Hopefully, today is better than yesterday, and we're just trying to get to the end of this line somehow, some way. So take care of your loved ones. I know you got people that have family members in assisted living facilities. I think here in Ohio, they're being a little bit more, I hate to say the word lapse because that's not a good word. Well, give more freedom to go see your elderly family members. And so you get a chance to spend some time with them more so in person. So take care of that the right way. Wear your PPEs, so that you're able to get there and see them face to face. You may not necessarily want to hug all on them, but still, just be cognizant of where we are in the coronavirus. Black Lives Matter. You're going to hear me say that every week on the show. There's not no slogan either. It's a movement. It is a movement, and I can feel the effects. I mean, last night you heard Lebron James, talk about it during their victory celebration. So Black Lives Matter is something that's very, very important, not just to me, but to all people, every color, of skin, and not just the United States. I'm talking about worldwide. So that is very, very important. Get out and vote today. Excuse me. Get out and vote today, especially if you're here in Ohio. Voting started last Monday. I voted last Wednesday. Early voting, starts, election day is November 3rd. But if you're 18 and older and hopefully you've already done all the due diligence, because if you're not registered, I've been saying register for the longest. So if you're not registered, I'm not talking to you, because you don't have a voice. So the voice does not count. Those who have registered and have voted or going to vote, I'm talking to you. This is how you get your voice heard. You can't talk unless you register. You can't talk unless you vote. So hopefully you've already registered. I'm registered. I voted, so I get to talk. That's your voice. Your voice is your vote. So continue, to do that. And this back to being American. This is the greatest country in the world. I've been a lot of places, visited a lot of places, but there's no place better than the United States of America for me, where I want to live. So it's just an awesome opportunity. So being an American is your right. It is constitutional right to vote. And don't let nobody ever take that away from you or even try to. So I know sometimes voter suppression can be real in certain areas, but don't let that be in your area, and don't let it be with you. That is your voice. Your voice is your vote. So please take advantage of that. Now, I want one other thing, one bit of news. I hate to start off on a low point, but rest in peace, Joe Morgan. Baseball player, and one of the finest second basemen ever put on a glove. And in my vote, he's the greatest second baseman of all time. Yes, I'm talking about Joe Morgan of the Cincinnati Reds, Big Red Machine, 77 years old. Just announced to come across a lot of social media platforms and news outlets. He was 77 years old, died in his home in California. I was fortunate to get to meet Joe Morgan on several occasions, and every time that I was around him, I used to always tease him. I said, man, him and all the Big Red Machine guys I've been fortunate to meet. I loved you as a player, but I hated the team you played on, because you used to put it on my Pirates, and I could still, be sitting there pumping my arm, imitating him the way he used to bat. They just called him Little Joe, but Little Joe played with big heart and was a major, major cog in the Big Red Machine. You could just name the names after each other. I don't care who you start with, whether you say Rose and Bench and Perez, and Geronimo, but hey, Joe Morgan is one of those early names that come off your list. You just got to list all of them, because they were all great. And Joe was probably the greatest second baseman I've ever seen. If you ask me who's your favorite all-time second baseman, and there's a long list. There's a lot of great people that play second base, but I got to go. And that's Jackie Robinson plays second base, but I got to go with Joe Morgan. Joe Morgan is the greatest second baseman. He could hit for power. He could hit for average. His range, he had range like a satellite dish at second base, and he had the littlest glove you would ever want to see a baseball player. It was only a little bit bigger than his hand. So he had to be in position to cover that much ground. He didn't have one of those big foot-long gloves. He had the smallest glove. To turn a double play, him and Dave Concepcion, as good as any middle combination that you could ever ask. And, when you're talking baseball, they always talk about you want to be strong up the middle. And those Cincinnati Red Machine, even though I'm a Pittsburgh Pirate fan, die hard, never, but you have to respect the middle of that Big Red, the Cincinnati Reds lineup. I don't know if anybody can compete with them as being the best. You got Johnny Bench at catcher, Dave Concepcion at shortstop, Joe Morgan at second base, and Cesar Geronimo in center field. That diamond, those four guys, wow. Wow, you name me four guys that played those positions better than those four guys. I just can't come up with it. I just can't, But Joe Morgan, he will forever, ever be in our hearts. I can go on. The whole show could be about Joe Morgan, really. Just a great, player, a great analyst, and a great person. Even now, when I watch baseball on television, I miss Joe Morgan calling these games because Joe could put you right there in the dugout with the players. You felt like he was a part of the game when you sit there and listen to his analysis on television and the situations. He just described it so perfectly. But he did a tremendous job, in post-career, during his career, and he will forever be in the hearts of people here in Ohio and around the world. Joe Morgan, you will be missed. So rest in peace to Joe Morgan. From one extreme to the other. Yes, I'm going to talk about the Bengals. Yes, I'm going to talk about the Cleveland Browns. But before I'm going to talk about that, I've got to talk about another Ohioan, LeBron James. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Lakers, for winning the NBA championship on the longest season ever in NBA history. It started last October and it finished this October. That's a long season of basketball. Yes, the pandemic was a major impact on why the season lasted so long, but they finally got it completed, and the Lakers are tied with the Boston Celtics for the most NBA championships of all times at 17. I mean, that's why I was kind of hoping that Boston got to the finals so that they could play the Lakers and see if they could go one up on the Lakers or the Lakers could come even. And if the Lakers had to beat Boston for the NBA finals, that would just been so apropos and really make Boston fans, really sick about it because they couldn't do anything to prevent it. But nevertheless, it's not about the Boston Celtics, Los Angeles Lakers rivalry today. It's about the Los Angeles Lakers organization. It's about LeBron James, getting his fourth NBA championship with 3 different teams. Wow. I mean, he was a major cog in all 4 of those championship teams. He just wasn't a guy sitting on the bench, getting one. Quinn Cook. Who's Quinn Cook? Quinn Cook's guy. He's just counting rings. He doesn't even play for. He's one of the 11th or 12th guy off the bench for the Lakers, and he was the same guy, 11th or 12th guy off the bench for the Golden State Warriors. Man, he's had a career. He just collects rings, but he wasn't that guy. We're talking about LeBron James. LeBron James is awesome. Wow. Look at all these appearances. 10 appearances in the NBA Finals. And comes back with 4 championships. A lot has been made about his finals appearance, but nevertheless, he's won 4. He's won 4. Not a whole lot of people have gotten 4. He's won 4. And LeBron, I take my hat off to you. Job well done. But I'm not going to get into this LeBron James and the GOAT talk now. Means the greatest of all time. Let's stop that. No, that's not, that's just, I just don't like that conversation. I'll give you a couple reasons why. LeBron James is still currently playing in his career. That's like if you was in school and you're taking a test, just because you pass, you finish with 80% or even 90% of the test, because LeBron is probably between 85 and 90% of his career is complete. He's closer to the end of his career than he is the beginning. So LeBron James' career is winding down. I could be having this conversation in 5 more years. I don't know, but he's closer to the end than the beginning. That's for sure. So LeBron James' career is still in effect. It's just because you've taken the test, 85, 90% of it, you're not going to turn it into the teacher and say, grade it. You want to complete your test from the first problem to the last problem, and then turn your test into the teacher, and then say, okay, where do you have me? So that's why I won't do it. I won't, judge LeBron James. His career is still going, so he is not the GOAT. If you want to hear me say it, he is not the GOAT. His career, he has an eye right now. He's incomplete. His body of work is not done. Let LeBron James retire, and then you sit back and evaluate. Now, where do I take a deep breath, and then say, where do I rate LeBron James as of right now? Because the race is still on. It's not over. And it's the easy person to compare him to is Michael Jordan. And I mean, yeah, that's easy to say, but that's disrespectful to both of those guys in so many ways. And look at how many people you are disrespecting in the meantime when you're talking about one of the greatest to ever play the game. So you're just going to just step past Bill Russell, move out the way Magic Johnson, move aside Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Oh, you too, dug down Wilt Chamberlain. What about those guys? Just named 4 other guys other than Michael Jordan. That's 5 guys. And not even bringing up Larry Bird. So tell Larry Bird, you slide away too. And now it's all about Michael and LeBron. And those other guys don't matter? No, not on this show. I'm sorry. You may call another show, or you may call me in this show and, tell me what your thoughts on it. But my list, I know some of you wonder, where do you have him, Keith? Where you have him? I can't rate him all the way because he's still playing. But I'll say this as much. Going into this season, even though LeBron has an incomplete resume because he's not completed it yet, I have 6 players in front of him. I just named all 6 of them, but I'll give them to you again. And simply because LeBron James is still playing, he can't get officially a total career mark from me because he is still playing. So these guys have completed their careers. The race is over, and then you look at them. So I have Larry Bird, number 6 on my list. I have Magic Johnson, 5. I got Bill Russell, 4. And then the last 3, you can rank them however you want, but I ranked them. I got Wilt Chamberlain, 3. I have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 2, and Michael Jordan, 1. But any one of those last 3, you can rank them in any order. I have no problem. Their resumes speak for themselves. Wilt Chamberlain, he got 11 rings in 13 years? 11. He didn't have enough fingers for his rings. Look at Wilt Chamberlain changed the game. They said, wait a minute, he's too close to the basket. Let's widen this free throw line. They had to extend the line out. Hey, you can't dunk anymore because you're making us feel bad. You're dunking too hard. I mean, he was a force. He's a freak of nature, Wilt Chamberlain. Unbelievable. I mean, there's nothing new in this. Wilt Chamberlain could high jump. He could run the 400. He could bench press the weight room. He was people, you don't cheer for Goliath, but he was a Goliath, figure compared to everybody else who was David's, even though David wins in the story. In the Bible, of course, we, love David more than Goliath. So, and I don't mean to call Wilt Chamberlain Goliath, but he was a man amongst, he was a man amongst boys. But man, he was just an awesome player. Awesome. If he played today, what would it be? But, he didn't play today. He played when he played. And you can't, compare people against, GOATs that never had an opportunity. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, lost 1 game in college. When he was a freshman, they beat the national championship varsity team. And he won in high school, won in the pros. He won in Milwaukee. He won an NBA championship in Milwaukee. And then come on to the Lakers and win 5 more. That's 6 championships for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Number 1, still the all-time leading scorer. And nobody still haven't figured out how to defend the sky hook. Just hope he misses it. Come on. Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Michael Jordan. I need y'all just sing The Last Dance this summer. It is what it is. Now I don't have to go into the Michael Jordan discussion. And then after 2000, a lot of the NBA rules changed. And that's not taking anything in the world from LeBron. He had nothing to do with that. But LeBron is still playing his career. LeBron is, if you want to say, is he the GOAT? Anybody that played in the last 20 years? You could say that. But then there's somebody, Kobe Bryant, will probably have something to say about that. But and no disrespect to Kobe, love Kobe Bryant, but Kobe's not in my top 6. Yes, that's my top 6. I mean, ask me. But you can call in. You can send your request. But that's my list. But that does. And sometimes when people come up with lists like this, they always feel that they have to beat up the other players who're not on the list, or try to act like their careers was trash and garbage. Reason why we're talking about you is because you're great. You are deserving to be talked about in such manner. And I hate to even, come up with a list sometime, because I'm only replying to what what's out there. Because there's too many great players that played in the NBA. There's too many great players that played in all the other major sports as well. To really, truly call one person the greatest of all time. And being a former football player, and I get the question asked me all the time, is Tom Brady the GOAT? As far as the quarterbacks in NFL. And I'm like, no. And I say, well, it's only 2 positions that in football, you got 22 positions. It's only 2 positions that they have a GOAT player at it. Everybody else is subjective. Or what do you like? There is no greatest of all time quarterback. But there are 2 positions I'm talking about is defensive end and outside linebacker. So the greatest defensive end to ever play the game is Reggie White, my former teammate, the Minister of Defense, my friend, my brother, and I'm not just biased. I've never seen nobody play the position as well and as long as Reggie White. And there's been a lot of great defensive end. Bruce Smith is one of them. But Bruce in his prime, Reggie in his prime, it was Reggie White. Deacon Jones. The list goes on. It's a lot of great defensive ends that have played this game and will play this game, but Reggie White is the greatest. And outside linebacker, there's a lot of great outside linebackers that have played this game, and before he got into the league and then after he got in the league, and that's Lawrence Taylor. There's nobody better than Lawrence Taylor to ever play defensive end. Outside linebacker. Period. I don't care. Period. Jack Ham. No. Whoever you want to name, whatever name you want to come up with, there is no great outside linebacker. Period. So when you talk, about football, left tackles and guards and centers and defensive back, and I love Deion Sanders as a person, as a player. Love Deion Sanders. But Deion is not the greatest corner of all time. There is no greatest corner of all time. It's who you like. It's a lot of people that can vie for that title. So it's too many different styles. It's just, Mike Haynes, Lester Hayes, just in that Mike, he just died last year. I'm looking at Brown, defensive back coach for the Raiders for years. I'm just blowing it. I can't believe I drew a blank. But you know who I'm talking about. It's a lot of great corners. Yes, and Deion Sanders is one of them. And so we bring that back to basketball. Why? You got 5 different positions in basketball. You got the point guard, the shooting guard, the center, the small forward, and the big forward, power forward. Why do we have to just pull out one person and say he's the greatest? Michael Jordan plays 2 guard. So why has he got to be better than the center and better than the forward and better than, why we feel the need to have to validate somebody in basketball? But nevertheless, even if you did all that, my list, it still doesn't change. It still doesn't change. Now, when LeBron James retires, I'm going to probably take at least 2 months, if not a year, to digest his whole body of work and then say, okay, this is where I rate LeBron James. Because that's what I did with the other players, the other 5-6 players on my list. I look, when Michael Jordan, won that last championship, with the Chicago Bulls, I still see him holding his form on that last shot. I wanted that to be the last shot Michael Jordan ever took. But Mike was hard-headed, but like a lot of us athletes are. He came back for the Washington Wizards and played a few more years. But nevertheless, even once he retired from the Wizards, then I said, okay, let me look at Michael Jordan's whole career. And then that's how I came, well, for me, he's number 1. But I said, it's hard to say Michael over Kareem. Hard to say Michael over Wilt. But, because it's not about, I'm talking about the individual players, not about, well, how many championships do they win? Those are team awards, not individual accolades right now. Because if it's all about how many championships he won, then let's just stop at Bill Russell. So everybody else bow down. There'll be no reason to even talk about this. But we are. And so it's got to be more to it than what did your team do? For me, like in football, you talk about the greatest quarterback of all time. For me, it's Dan Marino. Dan didn't win no Super Bowls, Keith. That's a team award. It wasn't his fault. Because you hear me say it all the time on the show. Quarterbacks get too much credit and too much praise when the team wins, and too much criticism and too much blame when the team loses. Because they don't play both sides of the ball. They only play one side. But if I had a quarterback that I want to be in a huddle for, we got to have a drive, and I need a quarterback out, man, give me Dan Marino. That's just me. But if you gave me Joe Montana, I'm not going to be mad. If you gave me John Elway, I'm not going to be mad. You give me Doug Williams, I'm not going to be mad. You give me Randall Cunningham, I'm not going to be mad. So it's a lot of players, a lot of quarterbacks who you can, who you could talk about who's your number one. But that's a subjective part of it. Who do you particularly like? I like Tom Brady. I like Tom Brady a lot. But I don't have him being the GOAT. Plus you gotta treat him the same way I'm treating LeBron James. His career's still playing. What is Tom Brady? 55, 65 years old? Even though I got a birthday coming Wednesday on the sidebar. I got a birthday coming Wednesday. I got to check my birth certificate, see who's older, me or Tom Brady. But I will be 57. I can't even believe it until I said it out loud. But right now I'm still 56. October 14th, I got a birthday coming. So I'm 56 years old for 2 more days. And I will enjoy it. But in the meantime, let's get back to the study here. Let's celebrate the Los Angeles Lakers. They are your NBA champions. And I'm going to take my hat off to the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat lost to the Lakers in 6 games. The Heat played with all they had, and it just wasn't enough. I was watching last night, was the first time they looked tired. I'm like, wow. And as a coach, as a general manager, as the owner of the team, the president team, all you want out of your basketball team is all they got. And the Miami Heat gave you all they had. It wasn't enough. Jimmy Butler, he put on a Herculean performance Friday night. And when I saw him get up and walk away from the microphones after his press obligations, he could barely walk. I'm like, this dude got to gas that battery back up again in 48 hours and having that same performance and more. Just wasn't able to do it. And I'm not mad at Jimmy Butler at all, but he gave you all he had. And it just simply wasn't enough. So my hat off to the Heat organization. They'll be back. I'm not saying they're going to be in the finals next year, but they will be back. They're a team on the rise, and if they keep the right attitude, who knows if the sky is the limit. They're about 1 or 2 pieces away from being able to fight back against the Lakers. And let's not forget, they was missing 2 starters for 2 games. If the Lakers lose 2 starters for 2 games, I don't care which 2, will they still win? I don't know. I don't know, especially one of them was an all-star, like the Heat. Bam was an all-star. So you take LeBron James or the eyebrow AD, well, that's going to be a little different series, but it isn't. And the Lakers won it, and so everything else doesn't even matter. So congratulations once again to the Los Angeles Lakers. After the break, we will get into let me take a deeper dive into the NFL, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Cleveland Browns. You're listening to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken.
If you need new roofing, siding or gutters, skylights or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
It's fantastic. Palmer's works, and I'm the proof.
That's Livia Tedesco talking about Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula Skin Therapy Oil.
I've had a scar on my forehead ever since I was a little girl, and I was very self-conscious about it until I started using Palmer's Skin Therapy Oil.
Palmer's Skin Therapy Oil is an advanced formula that improves the appearance of scars, stretch marks, dry, uneven skin tone, and aging skin.
I used Skin Therapy Oil, and I absolutely love the results. Now I'm using it all over.
Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula Skin Therapy Oil. Palmer's. Choose what's real.
O'Reilly. When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a few clicks away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. We'll even bring it out curbside. Or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For the ones working tirelessly to keep their coworkers safe. For the ones rising to new challenges. For the ones rebuilding stronger than before. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, safety recovery guides, and 24/7 support. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With so many new pet owners, Kezia's Grooming can't keep up.
Kezia's Grooming? Sorry, we'll book solid through the weekend. I can give you a call back, though, if something opens up.
It's time to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Indeed delivers 2.5 times more hires than the other branded job sites combined, according to Breezy HR 2019. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first job post. Terms and conditions apply.
An aging parent with dementia. A mother whose adult son is addicted to drugs. Probate judges help families facing tough decisions. That's why attorney David Brannon is the right choice for Montgomery County probate judge. Over the past 15 years, Brannon has worked to protect those in need and to get the right answers for families in probate court. And David Brannon is the only candidate certified as a probate expert. David Brannon for probate judge.
I am David Brannon, and I approve this message.
Maybe you've noticed your friend sharing photos of what looks like fried food, but they're bragging about how healthy they are. They're right. It's the latest in cooking innovation, and Lowe's has Samsung slide-in ranges with air fry to help you get in on the trend. Air fry uses little to no oil, giving you the taste of your favorite fried foods. Plus, the air fry tray is included, so you can start cooking from the get-go. Order yours today via our app, online, or in-store, and get free delivery. Bring home innovation this fall with Lowe's. Free local delivery applies to appliances $396 or more, U.S. only.
Police officers know it only takes a few seconds of someone texting and driving for things to go terribly wrong. That's why officers are increasing enforcement of texting and driving laws. So put your phone down when driving, or be prepared for the consequences. You drive, you text, you pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Oktoberfest at Milano's has begun. We're serving our once-a-year favorites like schnitzel sandwiches and German pizza. Get it to go or stay for the games with NFL Sunday Ticket. See you at Milano's Pizza, Subs, and Taps for big screen football.
They can bulge, go bald, wear down, flatten, or be in dire need of replacing. No, guys, it's not you. We're talking about your tires. Let Fat Boys get your car rolling again, safe and sound. Fat Boys carries tires in all makes, styles, and sizes, including Continental, Goodyear, Michelin, and more. Check out Fat Boys' new location in North Dayton at the corner of Needmore and I-75 or 3050 Springboro Pike in South Dayton. Fat Boys, your ultimate resource for wheels, tire, service, and accessories. Look for Fat Boys at fatboysdayton.com.
If finding a high-impact tire is a goal for your business, use Indeed. You'll find lots of great candidates and no long-term contracts at Indeed.com/high impact.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer. And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots.
Watch for the great block by Keith Byars on Pepper Johnson. Bam! Right there. Byars just nailed it.
He's Dayton's own Keith Byars. It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken on Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. The phone number to call is 457. Let's start all over. 937-457-9464 is the phone number to call. I'm live, and guess what? I'll be live again next Monday. Previewing the Buckeye game. I'm going to be at Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken in Inglewood, right on Route 48. Next Saturday. How about next Monday? I'll be there, and we're going to be giving away some prizes and gifts. So I'll be at the Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken in Inglewood next Monday at 12 o'clock. Let's have lunch together. I'll be there a little earlier than 12 before I go on the air, and we can sit around and talk, and, I'm sure we have some prizes to give away. And then we'll start our Monday off because it'll be Buckeye Monday. Getting ready for the Buckeyes. Finally. Man, does it even feel like totally football season to you? I mean, it does on Sunday, but on Saturday, well, okay. I mean, y'all watch some of the games on Saturday. I just watched Alabama just say their offense looked extremely well, but as good as their offense looked, the defense looked that bad. But I can't wait for next Saturday. A week from this Saturday when the Buckeyes get started on the 24th. But we're going to have a show at Lee's next Monday at 12 o'clock in Inglewood. So I look forward to seeing you guys there, and we can have some questions right away. But look, don't look now, but the Cleveland Browns are on a winning streak, guys. 4 in a row. Hey, they lost first game of the season, but then they won 4 in a row. They beat the Indianapolis Colts yesterday. They dropped them to 1-4. Two teams going in totally different directions. Indianapolis won their first, and they lost 4 in a row. So way to go, Cleveland. They won 32-23. To improve their record. That's 4 games in a row now. 4. I got to keep saying it because when's the last time we said Cleveland won 4 in a row? Last week I was excited to say 3 in a row. But that's what I always tell you. Winning is contagious, but so is losing. So if you're going to catch a bug, the right virus, catch that winning bug. And Cleveland, it feels good to come in here, especially when you, as a player, feels good to walk in the locker room after you won 4 in a row. It feels good when you walk in the locker room when you won, on Sunday. You just have a little different bounce in your step. Baker Mayfield, he didn't have his best game yesterday. He didn't have his worst game. But, he 21-37, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. This is his first interceptions he's threw in 3 weeks. Last 2 weeks he had 0 interceptions. But this week he had 2, but he also had 2 touchdowns. He had some drop passes. But, hey, Baker, this is what happens when you win. We don't overanalyze you. I'm just playing by the rules they have. You're not getting overanalyzed. You're getting a lot of credit. Hey, sometimes the best play in the huddle is to turn around and hand the ball off to Kareem Hunt. Turn around and hand off to another running back. Throw a little quick hitch. Take what the defense gives you. And that's what the Cleveland Browns are doing right now. I enjoy watching good football. They're playing good football, so way to go, Cleveland. Odell is playing good football. Yeah, you had 5 catches for 58 yards. Okay, yeah, you're moving the chains. You didn't have any touchdown, but that's okay. But you had a you didn't have a touchdown pass, but you completed a pass. You don't know where Odell going. He completed a pass yesterday for 18 yards. Way to go, Odell. But you got to remember, you got to be like me. I don't complete passes unless they're touchdowns. I had 6 completions in my career, all for touchdowns. Just a little sidebar. Myles Garrett. He had 1 sack yesterday, but he is very, very disruptive to offenses. He's an early candidate for Defensive Player of the Year right now. Myles Garrett is just doing it. And I don't know think it's right to say he's getting a second chance. Anything he's getting for people a second chance for people to know who the real Myles Garrett is. I thought he got wrongly targeted and labeled last year after the fiasco against the Steelers last year, the dispute he had with the backup quarterback, but that got him a big suspension. He missed the last 10 games of the season after that. But hey, that's bygones be bygones. I know everybody's going to talk about it all week, leading up because the Browns have the Steelers this week. And that's going to be it. And when's the last time Pittsburgh and the Cleveland Browns had a very meaningful game? I think Bernie Kosar and Ernest Biner and Kevin Mack were still on the Cleveland Browns at that time. But that's going to be a good game to watch this Sunday. I don't know who's going to win, but if I'm a Browns fan, I got to feel good about it. Even though traditionally the Browns have not played good in Pittsburgh. I don't care who was on the team. They have not played good in Pittsburgh. Maybe this is the year they're going to change that. It's not that far away. It's only a little bus ride. You don't even fly to Pittsburgh from Cleveland. I think they used to take the bus, if I'm not mistaken. So you'll be there before you know it. So feel comfortable, guys. Go in there and whip the Steelers. I don't like Steelers if you didn't know. They whipped my team yesterday. But nevertheless, I'm happy for the Browns. My grades, for the Browns overall, nothing really spectacular, but yeah, nothing wrong with B's. So I got a solid B to everybody on the offense, defense, special teams, coaching, a B. It wasn't, and overall you give them an A because, hey, you won the game. That's all that matters. Did you win or did you lose? Well, on the other end of the spectrum, the Cincinnati Bengals. Now 1-3-1 after losing to the 4-1 Baltimore Ravens. Wow. What do I say? Well, Joe Burrows was 19 of 30 for 183 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. And that interception, it was like, whew, you just threw it up. Somebody catch it. Hopefully he's my guy. And Joe Burrow played like a rookie. That's what you're going to get out of rookie. You're going to get some good games, some high games. Hopefully you get some good games, but a lot of times you get a lot of low points. And hopefully this is the low point for Joe Burrow. Like I just said about Baker Mayfield, quarterbacks get too much blame when they lose and too much credit when they win. And so it's too much criticism coming towards Joe Burrow today because they didn't win. So I'm not going to dogpile like everyone else. I'm just telling you the rules of the road. But Joe, I understood why you played that way yesterday, but the fans don't. They want us to win. They want the Bengals to win. It just wasn't there. If anything, Joe Mixon, he ran for 150 yards last week. This week he ran for about 50. He had 59 yards on 24 carries. Tyler Boyd, 4 catches for 42 yards. But when you only score 3 points, there's not a lot to talk about offensively. If anything, the offensive line is an easy, go-to. Last week we praised the offensive line. The previous weeks before last week, we got to get Joe some blocking. Then this week, it's back on the offensive line. So with the major problem with the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line is they have talent. Don't say they're not talented. Don't say those guys are sorry. They got ability. What I see, I think the offensive line coach, Zach Taylor, what you have to do is simplify your offensive line, some of your schemes that you're doing. I see a lot of mental blown assignments. That has nothing to do with physicality. That goes to do with mentality. If you got guys thinking too much instead of being hitting too much, that's a problem. So sometimes you have to condense your playbook down, limited amount of different blocking schemes that you have to make it easier. You just can't put all these ingredients. You don't want to have system overload. It's like when you hear your favorite song on the radio. A lot of times we only know the chorus. We don't know the verses. Because we just only like the chorus of the song. We don't know the verses. But as a football player, you need to know the chorus, the verse. You need to hold the whole 9 yards of the song on what you're trying to do. So as an offensive lineman, they got to be moving. That's why you hear about, offense is rhythm. I'm using these musical analogies. Rhythm, you got to be in tune. You got to be in step. And so offensive linemen, they got to anticipate what their person next to them, to the person to the left and the right of you, going to do. You guys have to be in harmony. You have to be in sync. And the only way to get that harmony and sync is by everybody being on the same page at the same time. And that means paring down the playbook until we master these 4 or 5 blocking schemes. And then we add a little as we go. Because the main goal is to protect the quarterback, open holes for the running backs. And if you got somebody doubting, what am I supposed to do on this play? What am I supposed to do on that play? That's more of a coaching problem than a player problem. It's on the coaches to teach them. Spend more time. Get it right. Yesterday, I saw Joe Burrow under duress. They only rushed 3 people. Yes, they showed 7 that could possibly rush the quarterback, and then they dropped. And I saw 2 guards helping out with the center, leaving people unblocked, and Joe Burrow's back there running for his life. That let me know that's not a player problem. That is a coaching problem. You cannot have mental mistakes at this level. If you do, you're going to get your quarterback hurt. You're going to get that's not good. And speaking of hurt quarterbacks, Dak Prescott, man, I feel bad for him. Yes, I'm a Cowboy hater. I hate them and Steelers by about the same thing. But that's the team's organization. I'm always pro player. I hate that. I wouldn't wish that injury on my worst enemy. And, the Eagles still got to play the Cowboys twice. And I like to beat the Cowboys with Dak Prescott as quarterback. A compound fracture, had to have surgery last night. And there's you guys got the internet. You guys took the paper. You even seen it on your television. That injury was atrocious. One of the worst injuries I've seen since Joe Theismann of the Washington Redskins. I didn't mean to say that. The Washington football team. When Lawrence Taylor had hit him. That was a bad injury, and I hope and pray, for Dak's recovery, full and, a healthy, productive life, and possibly, hopefully, he still have a career once he recovers from this injury, because that was bad. That was really bad. Come back to Dak in a second. Got to talk about Russell Wilson. Early after 5 games, if I had to vote for MVP, is Russell Wilson. Did you see that game last night? A 94-yard game-winning drive into the rain with 1 timeout. Must-have drive. Got to have a touchdown. Field goal's not going to do it. And they came back and did it. What a player. Russell Wilson is just unbelievable. And he's not – and this is like Russell Wilson's 8th year in the NFL. I'm acting like he's some new guy. Russell's been doing it a long time, guys. He's, he's a pearl a player to watch, you know. And when they got his new contract last year, people, oh, he got no money to play defense. Oh, they overpaid him. Overpaid him. Do you think you overpaid him now, Seattle? Now, Dak Prescott, he's been fighting for a new contract since last year. You know, the Cowboys made him an offer, but not the offer that was to his liking. And I've seen people on, you know, posting on my social media platforms. Well, I felt he should have took it. I would have took it, but you're not Dak Prescott. And, you know, what I'm most upset about Dak's contract, it should have never come up. Jerry Jones should have took care of him after the third year in the league. You know, Tony Romo's contract never came up. You overpaid Tony Romo, and you never really paid Dak Prescott. But hopefully Dak Prescott will be able to come back and play again. But we'll see. I got to hope his health is the most important thing, and football be secondary. Two coaches got fired, should have been fired this past week, Bill O'Brien and Dan Quinn, as well as general managers as well. Bill O'Brien was a general manager, and Atlanta fired their general manager, Thomas Dimitri. They all should have been fired. So hopefully you get some minority candidates, you know, will get a serious look, and maybe they'll give a minority candidate one of these jobs. You got two of them open, at least one of them be filled, if not both, by a minority candidate. You've been listening to the Keith Byars radio show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. I'll be back next Monday. Meet me live in Inglewood at Lee's Famous Recipe. In the meantime, take care of your fellow man. Get out and vote. And it's okay to do random acts of kindness. Take care of your fellow man, and they'll take care of you. Have a pleasant day and a pleasant work week. I'll see you next time.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Ready for renovations? Arts Rental Equipment has the tools you need to make your home, lawn, and garden stand out this year. From brush chippers to cutoff saws.